Okay, Naomi, now that we've gone through the marketing aspect of getting your property sold, now all we have to do is agree on a price that's going to cause the property to sell. So what I'd like to share with you, because right now we have our seller hats on, I actually want to take a minute to go ahead and put our buyer hats on.
Okay.
So let me ask you this, because most people, their biggest purchase of their life is their house, and their second usually is their car. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. So you usually have to wait, before buying your car, you have to put on your property. So I assume, yeah.
Yeah, and it's a big purchase too. And so think
Yeah.
about it like this. When I pulled up to your house right now, I saw the nice car in your driveway. What kind of car is that?
Uh, that's it was a Mercedes, yeah.
Mercedes. Okay, and what class
Yeah.
Mercedes was it?
That one it's a S class, yeah.
S class. Okay, so it's a very nice car. And
Thank you.
you're welcome. Think about this though. When you went and bought that Mercedes S Class, did you go to the very first dealership and buy the first car you saw, or did you shop around a little bit?
Well, I went to the Mercedes in my area and I spoke with a specialist and he didn't have the car that I wanted at the time, so he had to do his research and then find me the car that I wanted.
Right. Okay. All right. So you went to the dealership in your community, and that car that you wanted wasn't there. So he did a little bit of his due diligence to help you find the one that you ended up purchasing, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. And so obviously there's a lot of thought and intention that went into it, right? I mean, you didn't just go in there and just buy the first one that you saw. And so think about this. Let's put you in a perspective of buying that Mercedes S class. Let's say that you're shopping for this car and you went to the very first dealership, and that Mercedes dealership said, "Okay, we have the standard S class, right? It's the basic base model, no fancy bells and whistles on it, right? That Mercedes S class is $50,000. You can walk off the lot with it today." Okay. And let's say you went to a second dealership though, and they have the same Mercedes S class, the base model, except this one has all of the bells and whistles to it, right? So it has the moon roof on it, it has the updated stereo system, it has the heated seats. So it has just more features and benefits. And that one is, oh my God, wait, hold on, guys, pause. My mind just like completely blank. Okay, and the second car with all those bells and whistles, right? That one was also for sale for $50,000. Which one would you end up Which one would you end up buying?
Obviously, I would take the one that has more upgrades on it, but it will actually raise the suspicions on why this one has more and then it's selling for the exact same price. Maybe it has another issue, something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe they're trying to get it right away because they have the car has an issue. I'm not sure.
Potentially, yeah, I could see how you would think, maybe something's wrong with it, or the fact that, it's the same except it has more value, right? So most customers, just like you, they would probably take the free stuff, right? I mean, if it's not going to cost you money to take the free stuff, I mean, why not, right? As long as it doesn't have something wrong with it.
Yeah,
Think about it like this though, Naomi. What if I told you that the first dealership that you went to, that Mercedes dealership said, "Naomi, you can come today, pick up this car. We're having a year-end sale. Pick it up today for $25,000." Now, which one do you think you would go with?
the old car that says that doesn't have any upgrades, just call me back for $25,000. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Honestly, if my budget is 50, well, if my budget is 50,000 or 60 grand, I would go with the one that has more extra for $50,000, especially if they went from 50 to 25. I'm really I really do pay attention and just to protect myself, not to buy something, that's just gonna stop in the middle of the road or something like that. So I I wouldn't, if they started at 50, they dropped to 25 just to get my attention, I would personally not entertain that.
So you're the kind of buyer that you would rather spend the extra 25,000 for those bells and whistles just because you're a little bit skeptical. You're like, okay, well, why is the price that steep, right?
Yeah, I mean, if they keep the price at $50,000, I would go back. If I really don't care, I will go back to the old car and ask them to drop the price and show them that this car has more options for 50. Obviously, I will, try to think through it and see what makes sense. And if I
Yeah.
can save over there, then I will go with the other car. But if they just drastically go down just to get my attention, I wouldn't actually get that car.
Yeah. So you're going to use that as leverage though, right? For the second car that
Hmm.
you want the bells and whistles, you're going to say, "Hey, dealership, look at this car that's willing to do it for this price. Now this is my negotiating leverage on that side of things." And I
Yeah.
love that you said that too, because that is exactly how buyers think about value. So you can see in
Hmm.
this example though, Naomi, there's really two ways to actually increase the value in the eyes of the buyer. The very first way is going to be to increase the features and benefits of your property. And the second way would be to decrease the price. So now what we have to look at is the market analysis that I prepared for you. Let me share my screen. Can you see my screen now, Naomi?
Yes. I mean, it's come. Yeah.
Okay. So what we're going to go through now is the comparables to your house. So do you remember when you purchased your property in 2018 and you told me that you got a loan on it, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
Hmm. Do you remember the lender giving you the appraisal report?
Yeah, I remember. Hmm.
Okay, great. So 90% of the buyer pool in our area are also going to be financing, right? And so they're going to have the bank is going to order an appraiser to come out there and appraise the property to protect the bank against their collateral. So what I prepared in this market analysis that I want to share with you is this very first property right here. So obviously, let's actually review just some of the details of your house here. Okay. Can you read this okay? Is it zoomed in enough? So, Naomi, your house is a 3 bedroom, 2 bath, just under 1,700 square feet on a third of an acre, right? On Wade
Yeah.
Avenue, which is the main road, right? I noticed that most of the like the kitchen and stuff, like it doesn't look like it had been like renovated recently, right? The bathrooms looked like it had been renovated somewhat recently. Is that correct?
Yes, it's correct.
And then I also noticed that you also had brand new carpets and painting throughout the entire house.
Hmm.
So the first property that I want to share with you is 611 Beaver Dam Road. Naomi, are you familiar with this house?
No. Well, not really.
Okay, you didn't see it like on Zillow or like an open house or something?
Mm-mm.
Okay. All right. Well, this one is here. It's about 2 minutes from your property. So your property is obviously off of Wade, which is the main road, right when you get off the freeway. Beaver Dam Road is tucked away in a subdivision. So it's only 2 minutes away. It's just tucked away from the main road. So you can
Mm.
see right here that this property was listed at, looks like 595. It ended up selling at 538 with only 19 days on market. Do you see that?
I see.
Mm-hmm. So a little bit about this property, aside from the location being in a subdivision, is that this one was a little bit bigger than yours, right? 1,731 square feet, yours being just slightly under
Yeah.
17. It is 2 bedrooms and 2 full bathrooms, so it's larger than yours. It just has one less bedroom than yours, right? So the bedrooms that it does have are larger in dimension. The overall finishes of this property are very similar to yours. The kitchen hasn't been recently updated. One of the bathrooms also had new tile throughout the shower, similar to yours, and the lot size, a little tiny bit smaller than yours
Yeah.
too.
Mhm.
All right, so that's that first one that we're looking at. The second closed sale that I want to share with you here is off of Oberlin Road. Are you familiar with this house? Have you happened to look into it?
No, I know the street, but I don't know the property.
Yeah. So as you know, because I know you know the street, Oberlin is also another main road. Wade is obviously, right off the freeway, like we talked about. Oberlin is a very high traffic, busy area as well, just not as much as Wade. So this property right here, we can see it was listed for 550. It ended up closing for 550 with only 3 days on market.
Mhm.
Lot size is pretty similar to yours, right? Just under a third acre. Square footage is a bit smaller though, right? It's 1,436 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. The biggest difference about this property right here off of Oberlin Road is that the house was completely renovated. Brand new kitchen, brand new bathrooms, everything was updated. So when you think about it, these are the two most closed sales in your area, right? And based off of what I just shared with you on the closed sales of things, where do you think that your property should be listed at so that it is the next sale?
Mm. I like how the first property was listed at 595, and then they kind of had an offer, even though they were able to sell the property under the asking price. So I feel like if we start around there and just let people bring us any offer and see how we can get something. I think we should shoot for it, shoot for something like that and see what comes in.
I got you. So you would want to do the actual pricing strategy of pricing it higher and then see what we can get. And if we end up getting
Yeah,
something lower, that's fine. At least there's
yeah.
room for negotiating. That's what you're thinking, right?
Yes, that's what I'm thinking.
I see. I want to share something with you in regards to this because this is a common misconception that sellers think about too, because pricing is all about it's psychological, right? And so I don't know, have you ever been to an auction, Naomi?
No,
So an auction, maybe have you seen one on like TV or something?
may probably, yeah. I know what an auction is.
Perfect. So what I want to share with you is it doesn't matter, right? Whether you're selling a house, a car, a pen, whatever it is, when the auctioneer starts off the auction, if they start off the bid lower and they increase the demand and the amount of interest, the price ends up going higher. So when you think about it, we can use this same strategy in order to help you get the property sold quickly and for the most amount of money possible. So right now, if we price it slightly under market value, in this example, if we priced it 15%, which is extremely aggressive, below market value, we would actually open the buyer pool up to 90% of the potential buyers looking in your area. And remember, more demand equals more money. And the opposite effect is true too. If we price it 15% above market value, what ends up happening is we end up capping our buyer pool. So we end up limiting the amount of people that are going to see your property for sale because buyers, 95% of buyers are working with agents, and agents are using the multiple listing service, and they're putting an artificial cap on what their buyers are looking at in the market. So if they can afford 600,000, they might tell their agent cap us at 550, right? So they can afford 600 but cap us at 550. So any property listed above $550,000 is not in their universe. They don't even see those houses, right? And so I would hate to limit you
I
because
have a
let's and
question. If they
yeah.
are approved for 600, why would they want to be just to look at property at 550?
Yeah, sometimes it comes to this because I work with buyers too. I have buyers that are pre-approved for 750, but they really only are comfortable with the monthly payments of 550.
Okay.
So they just tell me, "Hey, based off of principal, interest, taxes, insurance, and HOA, I don't really want to spend more than X monthly payment. So cap us out at 550 because that's the monthly payment that I'm comfortable with." If I find a house though, that is really, really, I love it and I want to buy it, they can stretch for more, but they don't want to
Okay.
overstretch themselves if they're not in love with the house. Does that make sense?
Understand. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. And so, Naomi, based off of the comparables, we understand the pricing strategy. Overpricing is not a smart option. It just ends up limiting us. So we have the option to price at value or slightly under to create demand. So again,
So what is the price that you suggest that we go for?
so what I'm seeing with the comparables is anywhere between, it looks like the close price, what I'm seeing, 538, and this closed sale at 550. That one had a lot more updates than yours though. Your house is also on a main road, Naomi, and so that also is going to be a factor that an appraiser and a buyer is going to consider. So I actually asked my appraiser what he would actually make an adjustment to the property so that it would actually appraise, and it's about 5% of the closed sale. This one is in a neighborhood, yours is on the main road. So yours is going to be 5% under what was in a neighborhood. Does that make sense?
I understand. So, okay, what's the price that you want me to go for according to you?
5% under 540 is 500,000. That's what an appraiser would use.
So
So
you want
based
me to
off
list
of
my home for $500,000?
I don't make up the prices, Naomi, and I'm not here to tell you a price. What I'm here to do is share with you exactly how a bank would actually appraise your property. And it's your decision on whether you want to price it at value or slightly under to get it sold quickly. So, based off of what I'm sharing with you, where do you think we should price your house so that it will be the next closed sale?
I mean, I hear you. You say your appraisal suggested that we list our home 5% under 538. That was pretty clear. And you are suggesting $500,000 for my house. While this one, you mentioned that is kind of similar to me that sold for 538. So I don't know why should I list my home for $500,000 for?
Yeah. Well, here's
And
the thing.
it's yeah, and it
This
has one less
property
bedroom than mine too.
It does. Yeah, the square footage is a little bit bigger than yours. And you're right. The bedroom, there's one less bedroom. When you think about it, when an appraiser is looking at your home, they're looking at the overall square footage, right? So the square footage is very similar. The features and benefits and the actual quality of the house is very similar to yours. The biggest difference is the lot, where it's located. This one is located in a private, quiet neighborhood where yours is on the main road. So you can imagine that the price is going to be different versus if you're on a quiet neighborhood or you have a lot of through traffic constantly at all hours of the day. So, with that being said, the number that I see right here, 5% under what is in a quiet neighborhood, is $500,000. That's the number I see. Is that the number that you see too?
No, that's not the number that I'm seeing. What I'm seeing is 538, anywhere between 538 to 550. So if that one was listed at 595, they managed to have an offer. That's what I said, that I should list my house around that and see what comes in. Maybe I can be, anything that comes between that price range. I'm okay with that. But now I'm being told that I have to list my home for 5% under a property that has less bedroom than me and it's not also fully renovated. I think I should list my home. I mean, if I have to be aggressive, I will list my home at 545. But again, I'm more comfortable at 560 and see what comes in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 560. Okay, so I'm looking at the second closed comp right here that closed at 550, and this one's on a less of a busy road, and it's also fully renovated. So were you looking to do like a kitchen renovation, bathroom renovations? Were you looking to reinvest money into updating the property?
No, it's smaller than mine. So I think buyers should be also consider that this property, yes, is fully renovated, but it's smaller. Mine is bigger.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I'm really open to, I don't want to miss my chance. I'm really open to see any kind of offers that will make sense and also the terms, you know. Definitely, if I'm sitting under 530, I'm not giving any concessions. So, I want to see what comes in. So 560 is where I'm feeling more comfortable putting my house back on the market. But if I have to go back or go down to 545, that's not a problem. I can do 545 and see what comes in.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, and I completely understand you wanting to make the most amount of money. Because, like I said at the beginning of our listing presentation, my number one goal is to help you sell for the most amount of money the market is willing to give us.
Hmm.
And with that being said, I'm not seeing what you're seeing about 560 and 545. Although this property, your property is slightly larger than this house, right? This one's also completely renovated and it's not on a main road. So if you wanted to achieve the 560 number, that's achievable. You're just going to need to reinvest money into completely renovating the kitchens and completely renovating the bathrooms. Otherwise, I don't see where your property would appraise at 560. Can you
No,
share
I
with?
don't, like I said, I know that this is just like my list price and I want to see what comes in. Like I said, I want to maximize my chance on getting the most. And I hear you saying that, you know, the appraisal, less busier. I get that. But what I'm saying is, maybe I should start somewhere so I don't miss my chances on getting something higher instead of just going 500. Because if I list the 500, yes, and of course, a lot of people are going to come because a lot of people want to move in this area. And I'm going to start receiving maybe offers at 495, 485. I don't want to see anything under $500,000. So that's what I said. Let's go ahead and, I mean, I'm happy to be more aggressive at 545. And if they give me an offer at 520, I will see the terms. 515, I will see the terms. But I'm not going to just price my home at 500 and see people bringing me like a 490, 485 offers. I don't want to see those on my table.
Yeah, of course. And obviously you don't want to, sell for less than you think that it's worth. And with that being said, though, I mean, like we talked about the auction effect, right? The fact is, because I'm a full-time real estate agent, we can never underprice a property. We can always overprice it. And based off of the comparables, this property having more features and benefits, right? So selling for more money and being on not as busy as a road, and this property being in a quiet neighborhood, the same exact features and benefits as yours, slightly bigger, one less bedroom. So even if we were to account for an appraisal adjustment of $10,000, right? To make the adjustment of 10,000, which I actually did bake into the overall 5% adjustment that I shared with you, that would bring us to 500,000. So I'm still having a very hard time seeing where you're coming with 545,000. I don't see that, Naomi.
I'm just trying to position myself between those two sales that you showed. Now, if I list my home at $500,000, how much do you think I can sell it for? 500?
Yeah, I think based off of the current market, because these closed sales, like you saw, they closed in June. The market was in a different place in June. So I love that you're asking me this question. Right now, the amount of inventory on the market has doubled since then. So you can imagine more supply means more competition. And so that actually puts downward pressure on price. So, based off of what I know about the market and what the market is saying, this isn't my price, this is the market's price, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pricing it at the 500 mark is aggressive, and that will help you achieve top market value. Where it ends up at, I mean, I can't tell you for sure, Naomi, what we're going to end up at, but I know for a fact if we price it at 560, 445, unfortunately, you are going to become an expired listing and we're not going to sell. I don't see those numbers at all. And I'm
Okay,
not
I
going to
see.
waste your time. Like I said at the beginning of our listing presentation, I'm not in the business of taking listings and not selling them. So I don't have a problem with, not wasting your time and just letting you know straightforwardly that I just
No,
don't
I
see.
hear you. I mean, it's very sad. I'm not sure if you understand that, I come from 600 to 500. That's like $100,000. This is me losing money actually. And I hear you correctly. I know you don't make the price. I mean, even that, I still don't feel comfortable listing my home at $500,000. I mean, if you want to list slightly under 530 and see what comes 538 and see what comes in, like I'm pretty sure we're gonna have some offers. And like I said, I'm really open to see any kind of offers. And I'm pretty sure because they were listed at 595 that might actually have an offer and I see that they sold for 538. So I would love to list my home if you insist under 538 and see what comes in, but just not at $500,000. Unless you can guarantee me that you can negotiate for something higher than 510. But other than that, I just don't feel comfortable listing my home at $500,000. At the end of the day, the buyers make the last decision, sorry. So let's see what comes in at least. I cannot just, base my fate on the appraisal and all that. I hear you correctly, but maybe I love the marketing. I'm ready to sign, but I just don't feel comfortable listing my home at 500, maybe slightly under 538.
Okay. All right. So here you can see this is the listing agreement right here. I'm going to give you this. So right here is the price. I want you to fill in what price are you choosing?
Yeah, we can do 530 to start with.
Okay. Right. So I just need you to fill in the 530 and then I just need your initials down here.
Okay, sounds good. Thank
And
you.
Naomi, you're welcome. I want to share this with you. Now that we have our listing agreement signed, I want you to understand a little bit of the statistics behind the timing on market. So, obviously, price is a moment in time. We can't control if somebody else is having this conversation right next door to you, right? We don't know if that's happening and your neighbor decides to list their house. And right now, where we're sitting, right, with where everything is at in the current market, I want to share this with you. In the very first 2 weeks on market are the most critical time that we have to be on the market. We should receive 10 showings that are coming through that door in the first 2 weeks. And with those 10 showings, we should have an offer in hand if we're priced correctly. If we get less than the 10 people coming through and it's somewhere between 5 or 6 people walking through in the first 2 weeks, that means the market is telling us we're 5% overpriced. And if we get less than 3 showings coming through that door in that 2 week period, the market is telling us we're 10% overpriced. So I'm going to be keeping you up to date with what's going on in our market.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. That's
This was
it.
good.
Ugh.
You can start sharing a screen.
Oh,
Hmm. I see you used the guy on the mastermind on Wednesday.
yeah, George.
Yeah, this was good. How do you feel about your presentation?
I think it was fine. I mean, obviously, I definitely want to practice this a bit more. Yeah, I just like my mind completely blanked in the middle and I was like, what was I like talking about and what was I like thinking about? So I think I was just a bit rattled right there. But I think yeah, I just need to like tighten it up a little bit so I can take out some of like the filler words, get to the point faster. So yeah, this is really important to practice to be honest, because I need all the practice I can get on this section.
Yeah. I feel like it was good. It was really good. However, I also felt as a seller, I felt like like as a seller, I feel like you were trying to have me just giving my house away. That's how I felt. I'm like, okay, there's no hope, there's nothing. But overall, it was really good. Nice way of handling objections, and also gave you the maybe how you call this? Like I said, today I'm just tired of speaking English. And also gave you like a heads up that I'm open to even go down to get the offer. Maybe I would say something. I hear you. I mean, you did it, but I would do it sooner. Hey, I hear you. You're open to seeing what offers comes in, and I like that. Of course, I'm not the one making the price or pricing a home, whatever the market, however you want to phrase it. So, just go ahead quicker with the kind of price reduction, what you said about, if we don't get this showing XYZ, then that's what we need to do. Another thing would be also great is just share the active listings. Okay, so you want to be at 545, here's the active listings. Look at these two properties here. Look at how they look, where they are priced. So they have been on the market for maybe 60 days. Do you have time to wait for 60 days? Then you see that, well, you want to go back at 545, but look at your neighbors. They are already at 545 for 65 days. That's what you want. I think that will have me drop my price to 450 maybe. I don't
Mm.
know. It's serious and motivated sellers since I was. But overall, it was really, really good. A lot of improvements. I love that.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I realized I didn't show you the active competition, and this particular seller was a for sale by owner. They priced it at 600, and literally it's on a main road right off the freeway. Comparing it to a
Mhm.
neighborhood house, no, like it's not the same. Like real estate is all about location. Them selling at 540 in a quiet neighborhood. I'm sorry, but if I'm buying a house and it's on a main road, it better be for a steep discount because this road is so busy. There's just no way. Like there
Mhm.
has to be an adjustment there. But that's my
Uh,
opinion.
Also, when you brought the appraisal, and I like how you say I spoke to my friend in appraisal. I spoke to an appraisal. I don't know who was that person. I will also cover the fact that we might get an offer for whatever you want. I'm pretty sure we can, but then if the appraiser is not able to get you there, that would be a waste of time.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
good.
hmm We can't control that. Anybody else has a feedback,
I have some
question?
feedback. Hello.
Hi.
Hello?
Hey, it's Tanisha. So I
hmm
got the tail end of it, but girl, I loved it. I love the way you handled the end of that call. I like the way, let me tell you this, a bait and switch for me, but you got her to sign it. And then you was like, okay, girl, if we don't get this, and you gave her the ratios, like the first week should look like this. You set like an expectation. And if it doesn't look like this, then it should look like this. And if not, I love that. That
Mm.
was perfect. Like, but I felt like you got the signature and then you told her. But I really like the way that you explained that and the importance of it. I know how it's impacting some of my listings, not for sale by owner, but I'm in a sticky situation now because my clients, they don't understand the importance of really doing, doing what we ask them to do, if that makes sense. And it's
Yeah.
setting the expectation. So I really, really enjoyed that. You sound knowledgeable and experienced, because when you start talking a whole bunch of numbers, that can be like word salad, but when you sound experienced, that's what I was getting from you. And
Mm.
those are two different things, if that makes sense.
It
So
does. No, it definitely makes sense. And sometimes it does feel like bait and switch, but we have to remember we're not the ones creating this price, and we need to get them on a price that's going to cause it to sell. Where the market was 6 months ago, I'm sorry, but that's just not where it is now. Like prices have gone down in the last 6 months. So even pricing at the lowest comp 6 months ago is not good enough. That's not going to cause a house to sell. And I do not want listings that are just going to sit around. Like that's stupid, right?
it's a waste of time, and
Waste of
it just causes
time.
a lot of emotions.
Yeah.
And you said something else. you said time, price. You said something with time and price. Tell me what you
Oh,
said again.
price is a moment in time.
Correct.
We
That's
cannot
right.
control if your neighbors are talking right next door and they're saying, whatever, right, about their price. We can't control that because if they undercut us, that's what I was trying to allude to. If they undercut us, I mean, and then I was going to say at that point, in a buyer's market, what is the saying? In a seller's
I
market,
say
it's a beauty
times of the
contest.
essence.
It's a
Uh-huh.
beauty contest in a seller's market, and a buyer's market, it's a price war. So if somebody undercuts us, now we're competing with that.
And I'm telling you, I'm so grateful. Like, just listening to this is sharp for me because at right now I have a listing where you said time. It was somebody that was on the market maybe a few weeks before us, let's say 30 days.
Mm,
They're under contract at 270 in the same subdivision.
mm,
We priced based on them being under contract, and we literally came behind them at 264, 265 as an end unit to try to stay, get something in. And then somebody in the same subdivision priced something at 215. I just was like, what is going on? So it is so important that was just so good. Setting the expectations and letting them know I do my job, but I'm telling you, the buyers really dictate what we can do, and we have to adjust to what's happening around us, not what happened 30 days ago, what's happening right now.
yeah.
We missed the mark. We missed the point. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And I loved it. Sound experience. That was my
Thank
feedback.
you so much.
Good morning, everyone. On that same note, I feel like, Gabriella, even when you were frazzled and you said, can you guys stop for a second? You can't even tell. Like, you have an incredible skill of just keeping your tone very, like, downswingy, and no one could even tell that you might be struggling or you might be unsure. So kudos on that.
Mm.
You said something about filler words. I've been getting to the more. Maybe it's my personality.
You're breaking
I
out.
think it was
We cannot hear you.
Yeah, I can't hear you, Shamira.
Is this better, you guys?
Um, I think so.
No.
No, it's not. It was like a dead zone when you walked into that room.
Oh, sorry. Okay, is this better?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I was gonna say maybe it's personalities, but I don't think you used too many filler words. If anything, you could have repeated and approved a little bit more. Like,
Mm.
Naomi, I understand that you want this price. And with that being said, I want to make sure that I get you the highest price the market will give us. That's how we're all going to be happy. Now, I need to tell you not what you want to hear, but the reality of the situation. The reality of the
Mm-hmm.
situation is that according to these recent market statistics, the market is downshifting, and this is why. So very and good with personality. Someone like been like she would be, but you don't be some be baby a bit.
Dang it. You broke out at the very last. I couldn't hear what you were saying.
Sorry, but raise your hand. Go ahead.
Okay.
No, we can't hear you. So I do that to get your attention because we can't hear you. And I don't know if you can hear us. Can you?
Yeah, it's when you started walking around the house, that's when it started breaking
Mm.
I can
Hey,
hear you guys, but it's
Shamira.
okay. Go ahead, Naomi.
No, I do that to get your attention. Yeah, hold on, let me.
You know, some people like really do the appraisal, push the appraisal envelope when it comes to that. And then, hey, this is the appraisal, so let's talk about this. But I know you want to get the signature right away. I don't know. Maybe at my inexperience in listing, I would get 4, 550, and especially get what you said at the end. It was very important. Like, hey, about if you don't get 10 people looking your house. So that closes everything, like for me. But at the middle, I thought you were not gonna get the least because she wanted one price, you wanted the other. I almost was expecting you to say, listen, let's walk our ways because that's not gonna work.
Yeah, definitely. I think If she wanted 560 and top market value is 500, unless we're signing for like a $60,000 price reduction in 2 weeks, I think at that point I would say, thank you so much for the opportunity. Unfortunately, this is just not going to work. I don't want to waste your time. It wouldn't be fair to you. So I wouldn't take a listing that overpriced right now, especially when I know where the market is at, because I don't want to waste my money or my time on something that's
Right.
not.
But what if pulling the envelope? Hey, why don't you do something? Can we just put like get the former appraisal document so we can both, see it together? I don't know if you would do that, but just since you
Yeah.
brought that in.
Yeah, maybe. I've not done that before. But potentially, I guess I could have them go pay for an appraisal report, if they were really stubborn about that. Maybe. But then the risk in that is that the appraiser comes in and appraises it based off of a higher number, not current market conditions, but based off of closed sales. And then, yeah, then it's an uphill battle. Then they're never going to believe where it actually needs to be priced at, and then you're screwed because then you're stuck at a higher number.
Yeah.
That's the risk.
The market is confused. Like, for example, just as a really quick side note, here in my own community, I seen the same home, the same square footage, the same build year, everything the same. 315 sold, 380 sold. Such a discrepancy. Not much of a difference, not really it's new construction. So from a year ago, that's not much of a difference. I guess it's the time that someone wants to really sell. Sometimes you really need to sell. They put 315, 320. The other one just waiting. See, I don't know. Sometimes.
Yeah. And where's the lot size? Because obviously with new construction, you have like lot premium. So is
Same,
one backed up to like
same lot size, like a box.
yeah, but the location of the lot is one backed up
There
to
one
and one.
faces some of faces the lake, which is not a big deal, honestly. And the other, they never face something like really ugly or traffic. It's just a major difference that I'm seeing here. I'm like, what? But yeah, overall, I love when you point out the beginning, the features, benefits of the proper will increase your value, or you have to decrease the value. I think I really took a note. It's really good.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that's my issue. Oh, sorry. Did you?
No, I'm done. Thank you.
I think that's my issue. I'm just going pricing based off the comps. I need to have them under the comps because the market has changed.
Yeah.
Because now, when you want to bring up the price reduction, you have some who don't want to drop the price because they saw the comps. So I just need to, rewatch this video again. Next listing appointments, I need to make sure that it's priced where it needs to be priced, 50% under what you are seeing here on paper. That's what we need to be. Yeah, I think that's my challenge. Not my challenge on having them there, but my challenge on telling them that I need to do that.
Yeah,
I
I
was
think
not thinking that way.
right. I think it's also like looking at like your like hyper local like market conditions, like looking at the month supply, because actually what sold in like June and July is not comparable to where the market is at now. Like maybe in some like local markets, but like in at least where I service, that's not what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a big decrease there and a big slump, which is fine. I mean, I think that goes to like pre-qualifying and going on listing appointments with really highly motivated sellers. Because if they're not really, really motivated, they're a bit illogical, right? They're just like, well, I'm just gonna wait until the market goes up. And that's not really the kind of sellers we want. We don't want somebody that wants to wait around. Like, screw that. We need people who need to sell and are going to do whatever it takes to sell. Like, whatever it takes to sell. That is the kind of people I want to work with, not the wishy-washy people. I don't want them.
Yeah. All right, well, I guess Shania says she's not coming back. I guess we have all the feedback. So if anybody else has anything other than that, well, I wish you a really good weekend and I will see you next Saturday.
Bye. Thank you.